All righty, here we go. It is time for another show.
This is the Yay or Nay Show with Alex C. A sports show for sports fans by a sports fan. And now, here is Alex C.
All right, here we go. It is another edition of the Yay or Nay Show. Want to welcome everybody. Hope you're having a great weekend. Got some Yay or Nay questions that have come back on our Twitter feed. Again, the address to the Twitter feed, Yay or Nay Podcast. Always go there, always check. There's always brand new questions for you to answer. And again, I have quite a few that have come back. So again, let's get to some of the questions and answers that we have received so far. Starting with this one. If healthy, can anyone beat the Brooklyn Nets? Now, I already, in one of my big, bold predictions, and I'm going to have to do like a big, bold prediction show so I can talk about all the big, bold predictions I've made in the NBA and in the NFL so far. But again, in one of the big, bold predictions that I made, I said that if healthy, the New Jersey Nets are the NBA champs next year. I've already made that statement, and I believe it wholeheartedly. That's my statement. That's what I believe. Now, so I am the yay guy for the Brooklyn Nets being the NBA champs in the upcoming season. Now, I asked you what your opinion is, and here's what we have. 57% of you said nay, even if healthy, the Brooklyn Nets are not the NBA champs. Now, again, I disagree. I say yay. You, the fans that voted, say nay. I don't know that I agree with you, but again, hey, it's your vote. You can vote however you want to vote. That's the reason why we do this. But I'm still saying yes, they are guaranteed to be the best team in the NBA, and they are guaranteed to be the next NBA champs if healthy. But even if only one of the big three goes down, they're still hands down the best team. Okay, I'm just saying. All right, the next question that came back. So what is your favorite sport? Now, I asked this really as a question because I wanted to know like what your favorite sport is because, again, am I talking about your favorite sports? Am I only talking about one sport and alienating everybody else who'd like to hear about other sports? Ironically, it's kind of crazy. Not that I only talk about this sport because I don't, and I don't plan on it. And I actually plan on expanding what I talk about in regards to the sports world. But here's what's funny to me is 100% of the people that voted in regards to this particular poll, and albeit this was a small sample size, but again, 100% of the people that voted in this particular poll said football is their favorite sport. So I guess I'm not doing too bad in regards to what you want me to talk about. So that's kind of funny. Here we go. I asked another question. How often do you watch sports? Do you watch it 1 to 2 times a week, 3 to 4 times a week, 5 or more times a week? This one came back pretty much how I thought it would, in all honesty. 1 to 2 times a week got 100% of the votes. And again, that's pretty much, in all honesty, that's kind of how I thought it would go. Because even for the diehard sports fan, we spend more time, I think, watching highlights than we do watching games, only because of time, right? It's always about time. How much time do you have? How much free time do you have allotted to you to be able to enjoy watching a game, going to a game, paying full attention to one single game? And then, of course, there's always those odd moments where you have so many games going on at the same time. You don't really have the ability to watch just one game. So you might spend more time watching the highlights, or you might be getting ready to sit down and watch that favorite game, and then all of a sudden something comes up. You got to take the kids to a soccer game or whatever the case may be, and then you end up missing the game and watching highlights. So again, I realize it. Time permitting, you're only allowed to see maybe a sporting event 1 or 2 times a week. And again, I understand it. Makes sense. Here's another question that came back. Will Jameis Winston do better in New Orleans than he did in Tampa Bay? Now, I actually posed this question before they announced Jameis Winston as the starting quarterback. And let me start with this. Jameis Winston getting announced as a starting quarterback for New Orleans is a mistake. He should not be the starting quarterback. Again, how can you take a guy who's the absolute most pathetic, worst quarterback when it comes to throwing interceptions, and think that you're going to bring him to your team and all of a sudden he's going to stop being the worst, most pathetic quarterback in the NFL when it comes to interceptions. Again, I use Cliff Kingsbury as an example. When you got a guy who was a loser in college as a coach and you bring him to the NFL and think he's not going to be a loser in the NFL, how's that worked out for the Arizona Cardinals? And guess what? A year from now, I'm going to be making that exact same statement. How did that work out for the New Orleans Saints with Jameis Winston being the starting quarterback? I'm just saying, makes no sense. Absolutely no sense. But here's what we got. The voting came back. Will Jameis Winston do better in New Orleans than he did in Tampa Bay? 63% of the people that voted said yes, he will do better. I disagree. I don't think that's accurate. But again, hey, it's all about you. It's all about your votes. You can always vote on any of the questions that we have up on our Twitter feed. The address, Yay or Nay Podcast. Go there anytime. Vote on any of the questions we have up there. We welcome your votes. We welcome your comments as well. Please go there. Please go to our Facebook. Leave us comments. We like them. We really do. We appreciate them. Okay, today's big topic. Here's what we're going to do today. We're going to break this down in two different ways because what we have is college football getting ready to start, right? So yet another football season getting ready to roll in, and it's going to start before the pros do. And we've got what we have is the AP Top 25. We've got the coaches poll for the Top 25. Today, we are going to specifically talk about the AP Top 25. And we are going to start at number 25, Arizona State. I think it's a mistake. They shouldn't be on a list. I think when you have the entire coaching organization under investigation, new information just coming out, and the fact that they are just starting to really do, and I call them interrogations more than I do investigation, they are really going after these guys. That's going to create a lot of problems. But let's take that out of the equation for a moment. Let's just take that out of the equation. Arizona State does not have the roster. Nobody that I know of, as far as any of the national sports guys, are talking up Arizona State. Even though when Herm Edwards first took over, the four-letter network was talking him up and saying he was the greatest thing and he was this and he was that. He was all that in a bag of chips. And now we're looking at Herm Edwards, and it's like 2 out of 3 seasons. You can't count last season. They didn't play, really. I think they had like 4 games. But the first 2 seasons, they haven't really improved much. Not at all. You got a pretty good quarterback. I'll give you all the credit in the world for that. But your roster, everybody has you in the national media as like one of the lowest rosters in the Pac-12. So I don't know how these guys got ranked 25, but again, that's a process we don't really get privy to. But ASU coming in number 25, I think it's a mistake. They shouldn't have even been voted in. Number 24, Utah. They always seem, in my opinion, again, these are my opinions, but they always seem, in my opinion, to come in right around here. Number 24, Utah. They're traditionally a good team. They've got traditionally a good brand. So I don't really see a problem with them being at 24. Again, it just seems to be that's kind of where they always are. It's where they begin. Now, what can they do with it now? That's the question. Louisiana coming in at 23. Now, this one to me is a little interesting, and I think this list in general is kind of interesting. I see like a lot of schools that traditionally are not in. There are some that are going to be high in this list that I'm like scratching my head about, and I guess we're going to have to see how the season plays out, right? But Louisiana coming in at number 23, that one to me, in all honesty, that's kind of a, I don't know. Here's another one that's an I don't know for me. Coastal Carolina coming in at number 22. I'm a little surprised. We're talking about Coastal Carolina, America, and yet we have them ranked number 22. I don't know why they're ranked 22, and here's more of a surprise for me than anything, that Texas is ranked 21. Everybody thinks that Texas is going to have a really good year, and you've got them ranked number 21, and yet you have nobody in Coastal Carolina ranked number 22. So again, a little bit of a surprise to me. Washington. Typically, Washington starts about here, ranked number 20. How good are they going to be? I don't know. Keep in mind, I mean, we didn't get to see a lot of college ball last year. There was just a lot of things happening. A lot of games didn't play. Hard really to come in and say, oh, based off of this and based off that and based off these returning players. I personally think it's really hard to rank these teams and then really say with any significant oomph that this is what the list should be. Because again, we're talking about teams that didn't get to play full seasons last year because COVID, reared its ugly head. But starting at number 20, again, my opinion, traditionally, you typically see Washington start in this area. So I'm okay with it. Penn State, I'm surprised, they're this low. They're at number 19. And again, I'm surprised that they're barely sitting above Washington. Again, because we don't know what Washington is. We know what Penn State is. And they looked good. And they have looked good for the past couple of years and getting better. Again, surprised they're starting up at 19 and more surprised that they're just barely sitting above Washington. But again, this is going to be a very interesting and a fun college football season. It's going to be a fun football season, college and pro level alike. But I'm interested to see what Penn State has to offer. Iowa, number 18. Typically, you would see them, in my opinion, at number 24, 23 starting out. The fact that they're looking up at number 18 tells me that a lot of people have high expectations for Iowa. Again, I'm not coming in and tell you what anybody's expectations is necessarily because, again, it's hard. We're coming off a season where teams didn't really play full seasons and they played without all their full, roster. So it's just one of those deals, right? Wisconsin, right, is another school that is coming in really high. And I'm going to talk to them about them in a minute, but I'm just looking at the list and I'm like, Wisconsin just stands out to me as a team that I thought came in kind of high. And I don't know why they're coming in so high. But moving up to number 18, we have Iowa. Above them, Indiana, another one that I'm surprised about because Indiana being at 17, it's like, Indiana at 17. Again, typically to me, they're not really known for football. They're known for basketball. They're not traditionally known for football, but they're coming in at number 17 and they're above Iowa, who again, because I think they're starting higher than normal. Obviously, people have great expectations for them. They must have the great same expectations for Indiana if they're sitting above Iowa. LSU, surprise to me. Starting up at number 16, I am really surprised. LSU traditionally is a higher ranked team. The fact that they're starting off at number 16 makes me wonder what the pros are seeing that I'm not, because I can, even though we're talking about, we didn't see everybody last year, through and through the way we would on a normal season, I would still say LSU is a top 10 team, but they got them ranked number 16. USC, traditionally, as of late, USC has got to be one of the biggest disappointments to themselves each and every year. They're always ranked high. Everybody always talks about what great expectations they have. Everybody's always talking up their roster, their quarterback, their incoming class of players. Never seems to work out, and they're always a threat, and then they always seem to kind of fall apart in the end. I don't know. USC coming in number 15. I know a lot of people have picked them to win the Pac-12 this year. I've heard all the chatter about that. And again, that might happen. I don't know. Roster-wise, USC supposedly has one of the best rosters in the Pac-12. And again, ASU is towards the bottom. So again, I'm surprised ASU's 25. I am, in all honesty, surprised USC's 15. I could see them maybe being somewhere between 20 and 22, but they got them as 15. Miami, number 14. That's about where I'd expect to see them. Miami has been looking great as of late. Definitely a program on the rise. So them being at number 14 is good for Miami. It's good for college football, and I'm excited to see if they can make their way into the college playoff, because I think that program is definitely heading in that direction. Maybe they're not there this year, but they are definitely heading in that direction. Florida, coming in at number 15, getting better. Program that's had its ups and downs, but they are starting to become more stable. They are starting to get better. Looks like their recruiting classes are getting stronger. The coaching definitely is strong. So them being at number 15 sounds about right to me. Wisconsin, though, again, the surprise to me, coming in at number 12. I am shocked. I don't get it. Florida was number 13, by the way. Miami was number 14. USC was number 15. Sorry, I misspoke there. But again, one more time, USC 15, Miami 14, Florida was 13. Wisconsin, number 12. Now, I'm a little surprised. You know, they're known for being a running team. They're traditionally a powerhouse in regards to the run game. They win games. They win games, but I don't know that I would start off at number 12. I'm not saying they shouldn't be ranked. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I don't know what these guys are seeing this year that makes Wisconsin be a top 15 team. I probably would be looking for them to be somewhere starting off wise. Again, we're talking about starting off wise. I would probably be looking for them to be somewhere between 20 and 25. But again, they've got them at number 12. I'm very interested to see that. Oregon, always tough, always strong, always at the top, always the threat to win the Pac-12. Oregon coming in at number 11. Again, surprise, because I've heard a lot of chatter about USC, best roster, best recruiting class. Oregon being at number 11. I'm a little surprised. You would think USC would be higher than Oregon, but again, hey, that's why these guys are the pros. That's why they pick them. They put the list together. I'm just reading it back to you. Now, here's one that throws me for a loop just from looking at it, all right? From the outside looking in, keep in mind, I'm a sports fan. I'm a sports fan doing a sports show for sports fans. I do not claim, never have claimed, never will claim to have inside information in any way, shape, or form. So when I look at this list and I see North Carolina coming in at number 10, I'm a little surprised. We're talking about North Carolina here. North Carolina is not a traditional powerhouse. So for them to break into the top 10 tells me I need to pay attention to North Carolina this year because I'm very curious. I don't know what success they've had recently that I have missed. And apparently I have missed it, and that's okay. Again, I'm not claiming to have the inside track, but I am excited to see North Carolina, since they're starting them being ranked number 10, and even putting them above Oregon, no less. That surprises me. And then putting them right below Notre Dame, coming in at number 9. That's a surprise to me. Number 9, not the surprise. The surprise that they are sitting just one place above North Carolina, that's the surprise. Notre Dame being number 9, I get it. North Carolina being right below Notre Dame, being ranked number 10, that's the part where I'm like, okay, let's see what these guys got. Cincinnati, number 8, look, they've been getting better and better every year. They're kind of becoming a traditional powerhouse. They're getting stronger. They're getting better. Their recruiting classes are getting better. Cincinnati is a team that year in and year out as of late has done very well. I'm excited to see them ranked number 8, and I'm curious to see what they can do. Iowa State, I'm surprised to see the Cyclones at number 7. Traditionally, they're ranked in the maybe top 15, 20, somewhere in there to start out. And I don't really think of them as a powerhouse. But again, they must have had one heck of a recruiting year, because for them to start up at number 7, I'm a little surprised. And when I'm talking about these teams, I'm talking about off of traditional, what they have done traditionally. I'm not talking about last season. I'm not talking about what they've done in the past couple of years. Again, COVID rearing its ugly head made it impossible for me to sit here and say, oh, well, based off of last year, I can't do that. So I'm just going off traditionally what these college football programs in my mind are known for. And when I think of Iowa State, I think of middle of the pack. I think I've seen them quite a few times land in the top 25 at the end of the year, typically towards the bottom of the list. So for them, again, to be at number 7, I'm a little surprised. I'm not mad. I'm happy, but I'm a little surprised. Number 6, Texas A&M. No, everybody said that they were expected to do very well this year, but they're going to be one of those guys on the outside looking in. A lot of people think that they are going to be like at number 5, number 6 at the end of the year. So the fact that they're starting at number 6 tells me that, are they just never going to move up? Are they going to lose one game and just kind of fall and then work their way back up? I don't know. I'm curious because, again, number 6, number 5, that's where a lot of people were projecting them to end the year, just outside the top 4. The fact that they're starting at number 6 is kind of interesting to me. Again, a lot of reasons just looking at the AP Top 25 to be excited about college football this year. All right, Georgia, number 5. I like Georgia. I've always liked Georgia. They're a traditional powerhouse. Them being at number 5, I think, is great. I like this top 5 list. Number 5 being Georgia. Number 4, well, who else, right? Ohio State. Of course, Ohio State's going to be number 4. And I would not be surprised if Ohio State lands at number 2, because I don't think anybody's going to take number 1 away from number 1. But I would not be surprised if Ohio State lands at number 2. Clemson, number 3. That is where I think they're going to end this year. I think they're going to stay right where they are. They're going to be number 3. Number 2, Oklahoma. That's the one that I say is not going to stay at number 2. I think they're going to flip with Ohio State. I really, truly believe that's what's going to happen. And again, at the end of the year, I'll be looking to see if I'm right. I'm not making a prediction. This is not one of those big, bold predictions or anything along those lines. But in my opinion, from what I see now, I think Ohio State and Oklahoma will flip. And again, Oklahoma being number 2, which means that who else but the perennial Alabama is number 1. And I think that's where they're going to end this year. I'm not saying they'll win the national title. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that they will be in the playoff for sure, and they will go in ranked number 1 in the country. That is what I do believe. All right, so that's going to do it for today. Tomorrow, we are going to break down the top 25. However, we're going to break down the coaches poll, and then we will go back and forth between the coaches poll and the AP top 25 and look at what's different between those two particular polls. And I think you're going to see some things that are different from how the coaches look at it versus how the AP looks at it. And it's definitely going to be interesting. And again, I'm excited about this college season. I'm excited about this NFL season, but I'm more excited about being able to do the show and discuss these football seasons with you. So you guys have a great day. Go and check out our Twitter feed, Yay or Nay podcast. Remember, answer all the questions on the Yay or Nay Twitter feed so I can give you the results ASAP. Again, have a great day, and I will talk to you tomorrow.